music, this mood music.
Okay, yes, we trying to get a vibe going on.
Exactly. Vibe, because last week, y'all, my vibe was on some shit.
Lordy.
Y'all know them Leos. Sometimes we don't know what the F to say out our mouth. And I'm going back to not cursing. But we don't know what to say.
Lord, last week showed me it's worse things you could say than the curse word. Dear God.
Look, I already apologized. I done said my piece.
I don't know if you apologize or you just made a statement.
I said my piece.
You said your piece. So, hey, everybody, it is Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in to Sip Tea the Show. We is out here. And, we're going to actually get into it. That way, I don't want no mishaps and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people be motherfucking tired of stuff and you just never know.
I'm tired today, but guess what? I'm not even saying anything.
Thank goodness.
Cramping and all. I'm tired. I'm not saying nothing.
Are you cramping?
Yes.
You caught up with me, sis.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
I ain't said nothing.
The disclaimer on this show is that there are two women here. Both of them are cycling. Okay. So we don't have time for the bullshit. All right. So we're going to have to apologize ahead of time for anything that might be a little too out of the way. Although, this is the showbiz. So hopefully we can keep it under wraps. All right. All right.
If the show wasn't authentic, y'all wouldn't get the authentic us. Okay. Yeah. So authentically, I was a little ready last night, weeks ago. Authentically. I'm just saying.
Hey, boo. Okay, so yes, thank you guys for tuning in. You are watching Sip Tea the Show, and per usual, we have to start the show with some positivity. Okay. Are you ready with your positivity?
I do. I got more so quotes, but my quotes are actually going into lines with the with relationships.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like my
we're gonna have a lot of shit to say about some relationships.
Yeah, like because we never really get into the we never really can dive in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For our, when we get to the relationship, because we always wait to the end of the show.
I mean, it's a team.
We can never dive in. So, but this stuck out to me. Or whatever. I'm just trying to get it or whatever. And it's more so. These are facts. It's more so facts. And we all have to carry this kind of energy.
Let me turn that background music all down.
Yeah, you have.
But then let me tell y'all guys again, we do not own the rights to this music. And as Eb Deceleb gets herself ready, please be aware that we're going to start playing music in the beginning of the show, and hopefully this music will be your music. So if you're an artist, if you're in the area, if you're outside the area, it doesn't matter. If you would like your music played on Sip Tea the Show, then you can go ahead and send us that music, and we can, or let us know where to pull it from so we can play it. Some intro, some outro, and everything, and get your information.
Get us in the schmood.
Yes, you get us in the schmoo, and we'll put you out there, for the people, the tea party.
Exactly. Get us sipping that good tea. So my post, like I said, these were all facts. So it's not really a quote, more than just on period.
You want to say something?
So at the end of everything, I'm gonna say on period. Okay. So it says, "You post me, I post you. You act single, I'll act single. You claim me, I'll claim you. Play games, and I'll play games too. Show no interest, and I'll show you no effort. Put me second, and I'll put you last. Simple as that. If effort goes both ways."
Okay.
Point blank serious, and that's on period.
Okay.
That's on period. Okay. That's on period. That's a fact, because I think what for me, and this goes with anything. Not just in relationships, with anything, we tend to give more than what we get.
Yeah.
We tend to just push out there, and this and this and this, and then we get that in return. We got to carry the same energy that people are giving us, so that way we could both be protected. Yeah. I'm not gonna give you any more than you giving me. If you give me the world, I'm gonna show you how we can live in it.
Hell yeah.
If you give me your ass, I'm gonna show you how you can wipe mine. Okay. And that's on period.
I got it.
Those are facts. So that was for me. Treat people as you want to be treated.
I can dig it.
And
absolutely.
That was it for me.
That, I mean, it makes sense, and I'm here for it. You know, even though that last line that you said,
What?
wait a minute.
Let me go back.
Okay, because one of those lines that everything was like, okay,
put me second, and I put you last.
Right.
I mean,
I just put you second. Damn, I got kids. Like, but if I put, and you was like, oh yeah, I'm second. Okay, then you last.
But I think, think what it says. Well, no, but definitely you don't want to put your kids over your relationship, never. But I think it's just in a matter of level of priority and importance, and not like family dynamic, but more so how I put you number one, and what's important to me is my significant other carry the same way. Because if you put me as number 2 and number 3, and you got friends and this, and everybody's over me, I'm gonna put you at the bottom of the shithole too. Yeah.
Okay. So do you have space in your top 5?
And that's something that you got, and that's the question. Yeah. That's something you have to.
Are you prepared to bump somebody out for me? You know what I mean? That just mean you got to dial their number. Like, they're just not in your top. Is that even a thing anymore? Top 5s?
Not anymore. Because
people. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't even think anymore. I think, like, for me, it's where do you carry your relationships? And I understand friendships are there to stay. They've always been in your life. However, those friendships that you do have in your life, you know, they have to understand, because you're not marrying the friendships. Absolutely. You're not trying to be with the friendships, because if that was the case, you would have probably been with the friendships. So you do which one carry weight? Like me, my friend Felicia, she's married. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we were friends, before she met the girl, but who am I to intercept into what she has going on?
You're not changing them depends.
Not at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
As
my friend, I'm gonna let her exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna let her take the front seat, because guess what? I'm just a friend. Yeah. And I'm gonna be here regardless whether y'all work it out or not. I'm just a friend. I'm going to take the back seat, because your relationship is what's most important. But a lot of people, what they do is, because they've had friends for 18, 25,000 years, then they want to say, well, my friends are here to stay. You can come and go. If your friends are here to stay, then
right. See, that's the
relationship
thing. Because I get the fact that people say, you know, relationships do come and go. Unfortunately, even if you plan for that to be the one, you never know. You got to be prepared for that person who you think is the one not to be the one. So maybe they stick around, maybe they don't. And it's a huge gamble that everybody takes when we're in these relationships and things like that. But it is kind of one of those friend situations where, I know you'll be here, and it's not to treat your friends any like 50 kind of way. No. But you want to have a balance. Even with your friendships, hopefully your friendships are strong enough that they understand that and will take, okay, you know what? You're in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because I think we all tend to act a little bit differently when we're in a relationship. I'm not always as available as when I'm single. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here for the same kind of bullshit, because whereas I could kiki on the phone with you for, 3, 4, 5 hours at a time about, just the most minuscule bullshit, I don't necessarily have that same time. When I'm in a relationship. But if you have a real friendship, you also still know that person will be there for you if there is an issue. Yeah. Like, bitch, if you need my ass, let me know. Like, start off the conversation with, I need something real quick, bitch. And then we can talk about that. Or, and the fact that, you guys should be able to pick up where you left off, you should be able to go months without talking and not be a thing. And I mean, if that's your folks, then that's your folks. It shouldn't really be something. I mean, I have somebody who I'm very close to who I have gone literally like a year without talking to. And as soon as I talk to them, as soon as we get back in it, we're right where we, because love is love. It didn't stop when I stopped talking to you. It's not a credit card relationship. Credit card relationships, you only good as your last transaction. So this is like some, real on top of everything kind of stuff. Let me intervene really, really quickly, guys. Thank you again for tuning into Sips Tea, the show. And if you are watching on any of our other channels like Instagram or Facebook, please join us on YouTube. You can click the link in the bio, and it should take you right over to our YouTube page so that you can join the conversation and the collaboration. And hey, everybody who's already on YouTube, how y'all doing? Happy hump day and everything. Yes, definitely. Yes. We got deep early in the morning. Early in the morning. Shoot. What's going on? I'm sorry. Early in the evening, we got deep. We got super deep. Absolutely. But it's those things that, you just, when you start doing some reflecting, you start looking at stuff, like you look at stuff differently, especially like relationships and things like that. And like I said, when you start finding yourself doing way more than the other person, it's probably time to call it quits. Yeah.
You know, it's time to call it quits.
And you know what? And even before you call it quits, it's time to just do some reevaluation.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
and that's not reevaluation by your damn self either. It's like, come to the table.
Let's
Hey, boo, we need to talk.
Exactly.
Let's schedule a dinner or something, because we need to get together and talk about this shit and figure out what the fuck's going on, because there's a problem. Okay.
Exactly.
Hey there. Yes, because there's definitely an issue. So my quotes today, I have 3 of them for you. I will roll right through them, and they came out of the spirit of just like growth and progress. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to look forward. Sometimes we got to look backwards and move forward. Just like know what's going on, where you are, and kind of release ourselves from some of the natural fears that you face in any movements. But the first one was a Chinese proverb, which said, "Not afraid of growing slowly, be afraid of standing still." You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to switch the thought process sometimes. It's not being afraid, you know, even if we talk about like Sip See the Show, where we were last year and where we could be, and, you know, all of those things are interchangeable parts. You know, sometimes when you're growing your baby, you have this vision for what you want it to be and where you want it to be, and you want it to happen quickly because why not? It's fucking dope. Like, I don't even understand. But at the same time, what you should most be afraid of is that you're standing still and you're being stagnant, not that you're moving slowly, because moving slowly is still putting one foot in front of the other and you're still walking towards something. Standing still is not going nowhere. Hey, Anna. So that was a Chinese proverb. And then the next one was on derailment, and it said, it is never too late to be who you might have been. And that was by George Eliot, which always, that's like one of my favorite quotes anyway, because it talks about all of us who kind of procrastinate, and we always say, I know I'm famous for saying, I should have done this, I could have done that, with a whole lot of things as far as progress. Like, girl, talking about when we should have started the show, or, you know, this, that, and the other, but it's never too late. Literally, you know, when Sip See the Show came about and everything, it was years after we had talked about it, but it's never too late to do what it is that you're going to do, or, you know, be about the life that you said that you wanted to be, whoever you wanted to be, or whatever you wanted to do. So get it. And from success.com, and a guy named Richard Branson said, every success story is a tale of constant adaptation, revision, and change. Adapt, revise, change, period. And yeah, that was me for today, because those are actually like areas that I feel like I personally struggle in. If things are not, we are in the world of instant gratification. This is no lie. You know what I mean? I masturbate because I can do it quickly. I want what I want when I want it. That is what the society that we live in. And sometimes instant gratification is not necessarily the way to get us to where we want to be. But so when you slow down and think about other things, sometimes it derail. As long as we're still pushing forward, we're still making progress towards whatever it is that we're trying to actually get into. So stay on top of it. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing, sis.
It's never too late.
Girl. Yes, yes. And my twin, yes. That was for us, sis. So we need to get into it. Okay, so that was y'all's positivity, and you know, right after positivity, we move into some tea time, right? And tea time. Well, we gotta brew some tea.
I was like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah. We do. I was like, go ahead, iced tea to brew today.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Yes, we do.
We decided that we wanted.
We do.
Okay.
And I should have brought the book.
I know.
I should have brought the book. But it was Arthur. What's her name? Yeah.
Okay. Listen. Okay. In the meantime, I find her name, the author's name, because we're going to talk to you guys about a book. But as I find her name, we know the book's name, which is crazy.
Is Don't Block Your Bloom.
Yes.
And the book, we had an opportunity to actually meet the artist about 3 weeks ago. And goodness, I hate that I forgot her name, but her message was so inspiring as far as like the book and what the book was all about and how it is really interactive. I started reading it, but I haven't gotten to the part where you can get really interactive with the book, because her book, she wants you to take notes because there's a different message in the book for everybody. And the premise of her book is don't block your own, where they say don't block your own blessings. Don't block yourself from blooming. Don't block yourself from reaching your fullest potential. And then she talks about everything that she went through, all the adversities, the marriages that she went through, as far as the abusive marriages and being molested and things like that. She talks about all of that stuff in the book, and she didn't allow that to block who she was.
Yeah.
And that book, it just has so many gems in that book. And I love the fact that she does give you opportunities to interact with her because of the fact, her name is Honeybee. Is it Honeybee?
No, it's Mary Patterson.
Oh, yeah.
She has such an author name.
Yeah, Mary Patterson.
Yeah.
I was like, Honeybee. I was like, wait a minute, because I remember she had the name of my sister.
Okay.
Mary.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. Mary Patterson. And she was, and she's dope. Like, I mean, her story is just so dope. Her book is just so dope. Her energy was amazing. We definitely got to get those videos uploaded that we did a couple weeks ago, because we met some amazing people, but her story really, really did stand out, so much so that before she left, I was like, sis, I need to get that book. And now that I've entered into that book, it's like we all go through so much stuff in life. Nobody's pain is worse than the other person's pain. Instead of identifying what we're feeling, we're always consuming ourselves with what the next person is feeling, and how our pain compares to the next person, and what I go through with what one person versus the last person. As a matter of fact, because this show is as real as it is, we had a conversation last week, Wednesday, because guess what? I wasn't feeling it. However, I can't allow what I'm feeling to be deflected onto my partner, and vice versa, not thinking that maybe she had a bad day as well. So it's not about you individually. And as people, we got to get out of our own selves and thinking about our own self. And that's what her book was all about. It's like, stop thinking that you the only one out here that got shit going on.
Yeah,
Stop thinking that you're the only one that's been molested. Stop thinking that you're the only one that's been through failed marriages or abusive marriages or this or that or this or that. Start thinking about how did you get out of it.
Yeah.
Start thinking about how can you help somebody else get out of it.
Or the possibility that there is another side to it, that you can get out of it. That, you know, this is something that is temporary. So one way to look at it, like, okay, everybody is going through this, or there are more people than myself going through it. So there's hope in that. And there's another way, like, just, when you realize that other people are going through the same thing that you are, it kind of releases you to find a fucking solution. Like, get out of your own way and figure out how the fuck you're going to get out of it. Because at the end of the day, the only common denominator in your success and your failure is you.
Yeah.
You know, there's, when you reach rock bottom, you're there. You're at rock bottom. And you know,
when you reach it to the top, you're also there.
You're there, like, and all along the entire journey, you are there. Your mindset is there, and your being is there. So if you can look around yourself, because I'm trying to tell you guys, the struggle, it is a lonely place. And that's why it's hard to really think about other people being in that with you, because it does feel like you are alone. It does feel like you're by yourself. But knowing the fact that other people go through shit too, and realizing that, you know, to step out of that whole woe is me zone, you know, and kind of find another place is good for us. And I think that's why I think her book is going to be really successful. Also, because like Eb Deceleb said, it is an interactive book, meaning take some fucking notes. You know what I mean? You get to actually write some things down and take some notes and say, you know, how is this me? How is it not me? I don't know if you guys, if you're anything like me, when you read things, you're taking notes anyway. I don't even care if I'm reading fiction. I'm thinking about how is this character me, or how is this character not me as well. But the book actually has a place for you to write and, you know, kind of journal and reflect and read it again, because those books like that, you can't read just one time. You have to read through it. Because there are several messages in it. Just they don't speak to you at that particular time. You know what I mean? There's some messages that you might get the first time you read it, and then a change takes place, and then the second time you read it, you find yourself in a whole different situation. So again, that is Mary Patterson. The book is called Don't Block Your Bloom. She is really out here brewing her own tea.
And you can find her book on Amazon, also too, underneath her Instagram as well. So definitely check her. Definitely, if you can, check her book out. It's really a really.
And
good
if you're
book.
all into social media, then go ahead and join her. Her IG is Don't Block Your Bloom.
And she does a lot of lives too.
Yeah.
She does a lot of lives and motivational lives. But she ain't giving away that book. She is not giving the information from the book. You still got to read the book.
Okay, but we can all get gems and jewels from each other. Letice says on YouTube, she says, play it forward, try and try again. Exactly. Push. So definitely wanted to shout her out. And I think we talked about this before, that the ladies are doing it.
Yeah,
we are doing it. And I like the fact that I'm hearing a lot of not just female empowerment, but females empowering other females. And there's nothing wrong with that. Lord knows we love our guys. But if we do not come together and lift each other up, then we suck. You know what I'm saying? Like that, we're at a loss if we do not learn to congratulate and lift each other up. I know sometimes it's like taking a test and looking on somebody else's paper, but we gotta learn to be able to get out of our own way in that, and be able to congratulate our sister, empower our sister, point other people in that direction, so that we can all win at the same time. Even what's that girl? Megan Thee Stallion. I think she had just paid some homage to Nicki Minaj, and then Nicki Minaj kind of paid the same respect back to her. And I know sometimes it trickles down. These are artists, but they have the same. No matter where you go in life, no matter how far you reach, you're still a woman at the end of the day. We still had that once a month that we bleed and we could rip everybody's fucking head off. We still feel, jealousy. We still feel all of these emotions. We still feel things about ourselves that makes it hard for us to congratulate other people. We still feel like we are pit against each other at times, but we are the only ones, again, that are the common denominator in that. And we have to learn how to actually lift each other up and move past that. So don't block anybody else's bloom either. How you doing? Okay. Anybody else you want to brew today? No.
We gotta keep this.
Okay, so we're gonna keep it moving and move into tea time. Tea time is a part of the show when we talk to you guys about the things that are going on in the world around us, the tea. And I'm glad that Eb Deceleb, your quote kind of went into some of the tea that's going on as well, because a lot of relationship tea out here, and a lot of reflecting in those relationships and things like that. One in particular, if you of the soul, there's a person on the Real called Jeannie May or whatever. She's been a host on the Real for quite some time, since their inception, right? Yeah, since their inception.
Everybody's the original cast,
except Tamar. No Tamar, but so she's dating Jeezy. She was recently out of a marriage. So I think it was 2017 when she got a divorce. Yeah. But when we talk about reflection and your quote, which was, look, you do this for me and I do this for you. There's also another side to that too, which is, what are we requiring for ourselves? So apparently, again, with the tea, she's been all over social media. Her and Jeezy are dating.
Went to the Tyler Perry production.
Okay, in a fabulous dress. She looked real cute. So they look cute. They're out and about as a couple. So they're out as a couple. And they are, publicly claiming each other, I guess. But she had a touching moment.
And that's where they went wrong now. That's where they went wrong.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
Because I feel like once you start doing stuff like that, you allow social media to play a part in your relationship. Yeah, naturally.
But if social media is kind to you,
but social media is not kind.
Not always,
what I'm saying? Especially people who might not be a fan of interracial relations.
I mean, but they can say what they want, but what you don't do. Okay, let's not go on social media and do this. and then your motherfucking ass want to act up. That's what you don't do.
Yeah.
That's when social media is going to take your ass down. Don't
like
fake on
your
social
couple
media.
has to be. You have to portray who you want the world to be at all times when you put your relationship on blast.
If that's what you're going to do,
because as soon as you guys break up with this, I honestly think that people give social media way too much anyway. However, claim yourself, but because you're in the public eye and you're on the real and you're this and you're that, you're still going to have to maintain some type of privacy. You have to have some type of privacy out there. And I think that social media for relationships can break or make a relationship, because as soon as you go through with somebody, the first thing you do is go to social media.
Yeah.
And then turn around.
Unless if you don't have any discipline, that's what the hell you're doing.
So I think that, you got to be careful what you put out there. And when is it a good time to put that out there as somebody who is known, like a celebrity? When is it good how long have they been dating? Maybe they've been dating for a year now.
Absolutely.
It's just coming out.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But when you just meet a person, you're kumbaya and you're this and you're that, and you're just putting all this, and you get to saying, relationship is so wonderful to me, and then 30 days later you're like, who are you? I can't stand around you walk on.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like we as people, we take these strong stances for the moment. Like me, I'm consistently going to be me, regardless of what I go through. I'm consistently going to be Eb Deceleb, Ebony Lydell, EB, whatever you want to call me. I'm never going to change. I'm never going to flip the script. I'm crazy, nutcake, batshit, whatever. That's just who I am. However, when you get into these relationships, oh my God, this relationship is just everything to me, and this is what I needed, and the Lord sent it down from heaven, and God, you know what I'm saying? And then you get through all these tangents and rants and all these other things, and the next thing you know, it is like, where's this relationship?
Absolutely. I had an ex who I remember, and I think that we all have to just be conscious of the fact that feelings change, and things change, and until you are the fuck certain,
let's be sure.
I mean, but the thing is that when you did it, you were sure. You were so sure.
But then I guess that goes I remember what time. Like that's what I was saying. Like, when do you start? Like, I hope to God that they've been dating more than what we just saw, and they just didn't just put it out here because we like each other and we met 2 weeks ago. And
right. No, I really feel like
I think they've been dating.
Yes, because don't you think that takes a certain level of responsibility? Yeah, like as a celebrity, I don't think I'm about to post every little thing. Yeah. Because no, we need to
people
be serious.
Are watching. Right. Yeah.
Especially waiting for Jeannie, she's been already in a marriage. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You don't want to look a certain way.
Absolutely, for herself and for anybody else, because you are also putting out there who it is on social media, who it is that I am, what it is that I expect, that kind of thing. Like, so for her, like, you're a marrying girl, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you want to be married. These are the relationships that you enter into now are ones in which you expect the outcome to be a committed relationship.
For people who've already been married, do you think they rush to get married?
I think I'm not even saying rushing to get married. I'm saying you're the kind of person for which a committed relationship is your goal. Even if it's not married. Yeah, hell yeah. Because I don't think people who... Yeah, I do. I think
that a lot of people, I think there's some people out here who like go through divorce and marriage, and then they're not in a rush to go through that.
I'm not saying not in a rush. I'm not saying in a rush. I'm saying the type of person that you are is I'm probably looking towards where are we going to be in 5 years, as opposed when I'm thinking I'm gonna post your ass. Like, do you have potential? Mm-hmm. Okay. And what is your potential? Like, okay, so if you're just dating, you don't really give a fuck. Like, okay, so this person has the potential to be what? Now, it depends on who I am to whether or not I'm like, what kind of questions that I have for this person. Like, if I'm just a dater and all I want to do is, I want to date like 5 people at once. I want to like have I don't want to have a committed relationship. I just want to do my thing. Then when you see me on social media, it's 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be posting with every fucking body. Why? Because I'm not interested in
one thing.
Solidify. Yes, this one thing or this one lane or this one person or anything like that. But, sometimes our past dictates the future. And, if hers does, it's going to more so say, you know, I would rather be on a marriage track than on a just anything track. Like, it could be you, Jeezy, or it could be somebody else next month. And then also, apparently, she talks about him on the real as well.
Oh,
you don't do shit like
sis
that.
Is in love.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you start,
your behaviors
when you start mentioning people
on live TV and shit, like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
When you start,
So Valencia says don't do potential anymore. Yes,
that's what I've said. Some people, when they've gone through like marriages and stuff like that, you really do a lot of reevaluating, reflecting. Like, is this something that I really want to put myself through anymore? But I think too, it goes back to it goes back to making sure. I was talking to a friend today, as a matter of fact, and she was telling me she's the happiest that she's ever been, and she's alone.
Right.
And she's absolutely alone. And she's alone by choice.
Absolutely.
And she's choosing to be alone because she wants the choice to be with someone.
That's what I'm saying, though. The person that she is. She wants still that person that wants to be in a committed relationship, and the person that she's going to go after she is happy within herself and make sure that she's straight. Her eyeballs, the people that she fixates on, are going to be of this particular caliber. Yeah, like, they're not going to be the caliber from the dating websites, because we're not going to be doing a dime a dozen.
Oh, well, no. So that's the thing. Let me back up then. Maybe I didn't make myself clear. So she's happy being alone. When I say being alone, I mean being not in a relationship. She is enjoying
being single
and dating. She's enjoying dating multiple people. Because right now she's in a place where I don't really feel like talking to this person today. So and guess what? I won't.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so
that's the thing. Relationships are responsibility. That's what people don't get about relationships.
And you definitely have to get into that mindset. So before we get to reflecting and reflecting on different things or whatever, we also have to reflect internally.
Absolutely.
We have to reflect on ourselves first and figure out what we want, because if we don't figure out who we are and what we want internally, and we internally make ourselves happy, no matter who you got your eyeballs on, it's never going to be the right one, because you don't even know what the right one looks like, because you're not seeing it from a clear eyes. You're seeing it from, okay, well, maybe this is what I want, or maybe this is what I want. Oh, okay, well, it's okay if they do that because they do this.
Also, you know,
won't involve yourself in any of that type of stuff. And so when we were talking, she was like, this is the first time in my life where I'm not compromising. I'm not compromising for anybody. I'm not compromising because, I need to be in a relationship, and she's reaching a certain point in her life, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to get married, I'm trying to do this, and I'm trying to do that. She's not doing any of that. She's saying, you know what? If I have to compromise, it won't be me. I'm not going to compromise myself. So this goes back to, once you do get married, you do get forced, and you start doing reflecting. It's not reflection on the other person. It's reflection on you.
Absolutely.
Because you have to reflect. You got to be able to look in that mirror and say, you know what, girl? We're not compromising on anything. If she used the example, she was like, I went on a date last week, and he had everything else, but he was much shorter than me. He was shorter than I like. And guess what? Because she has reflected and loved herself enough, she can sit there and say, guess what? I don't want to deal with you. I don't care if you got everything else, but you're too short, and I know I'm not going to like that in the future, so I'm going to just end this right now. For us as people, what we try to do is we try to meet people and have our blinders. We have our blinders on. We try to sit there and say, oh, well, they have this, so let's sacrifice this. It goes back to what I posted. You treat me how I treat you. Don't sacrifice. Do not sacrifice anything for that you want and what you need for something that you think in your mind that they can't give you. If you're not 100% sure that this person is exactly what you want, it's time to walk away. Hardest thing to do for a lot of people, but it's the best thing you can do.
But you know what? Also, within that period of introspection and all of that other stuff, when you are reflecting on yourself, for real, to be honest, like, I don't know about your friend in particular because I don't know them, but in general, like, there's a time that comes before dating at all that is your time for reflection, because your time for reflection is really not necessarily, I mean, yes, we all reflect during dating periods and stuff like that, because you're like,
you gotta reflect first.
Wait a minute, because you're like, do I like this or do I not like that? Okay, that we're doing with this dating situation, and I'm going to reflect on that also. But something is to be said too about when you are in a point where you are so stringent that you can't compromise. It's not saying that you're supposed to compromise on anything that's really, really of value to you, about your morals, your values, your this, your that. But if you're actually in a relationship, the relationship does require some compromising. It's just on both people's ends. Nobody, the best negotiations or the best things are when, what did it say? When everybody walks away. Nobody walks away from a negotiation completely happy if there were two opposing sides. But anyway, the point of that was, before you do all of this other things, like when we were talking about steps last week, and we'll get into that a little bit later, I guess, but we were talking about steps to the whole dating game and everything. The first part of that, I think, was like, we were talking about dates and then dating. Like, it's nothing wrong with seeking human companionship and things like that, and I commend her for being like, you know what, I'm never gonna like someone short, so I'm gonna let you go, because I do believe in releasing other motherfuckers, like, to do their own thing.
But here's the thing, she's in this space now because she took the time for herself.
Absolutely, so and that's very important.
That's the most important part of this whole thing. We are so busy on, once we get into these relationships where we start reflecting and, oh, my husband didn't do this and you do this, and my husband did this and you did this. Did you take the time to reflect on what can you do for you? And so for my friend, when she took the time, like, she did about 7 months of just commitment to her, she called it.
Good.
She did 7 months of commitment to her. And when she did those 7 months of commitment to her, she said, if I can't be faithful to me and not cheat on me, and her thing was dating other people was cheating on her. She was taken away from her commitment to herself.
Absolutely, because that's what I actually was going to get to. The fact that dating people takes a lot of fucking time. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care about the fun. We have to realize that time is a big thing. Time is one of those things that we don't get back. So if you are giving your time to other people during dates and stuff like that, it is best if you're like, look, this is not going to go anywhere, or wherever it is that I want it to go, and be willing to cut it off. Yeah,
because you can compromise, but don't compromise so much. So here's a good question:
you don't want to compromise.
When does the compromising stage begin? Because if you find yourself compromising in the beginning of dating,
but you gotta know which shit you're gonna compromise on and what you won't. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe she has identified. Listen, I will not compromise. You must be 5'8" or above. Period.
Yeah, I'm not
compromising. That way, I can ask you on the phone.
How tall are you?
How tall are you?
Yeah.
You are a delightful person. I cannot do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, we probably can't even be friends. We'll be those kind of friends that when I see you out, we can also have drinks or whatever, but we won't plan shit. Okay, how about that? Because for me, that's a big thing. You know what I mean? And it's okay if you want to be with other people. And I say this in the biggest, with the most respect. Some people will think about the things that you say and they will consider that to be shallow. But you have to be selfish for you sometimes too. You know what I'm saying? So if that's probably where she's coming from too, but then I'm not compromising on that. It's okay. Because you need to get, at the end of the day, you need to have what you want and what you need. And if this person is not going to cut it, no, did you miss out on somebody who just didn't make the mark? Quite possibly.
And you know what?
But you got to be ready for that too.
And you got to be ready for that too. And then she was like, and she's just so funny. She was like, and that was on God had for me.
Absolutely.
But once
you stretched him a little bit
longer. But once you commit to you, like once you date you and you commit to you and you're honest with yourself, like anything else, it becomes, she's like, I just never felt so free. I feel free. Like she was telling me about one guy, she was like, he wanted her to come all the way to Baltimore to go and see him. And she said, now why would I do that? Why would I drive all the way to Baltimore to come and see you and everything like that when I'm then going to have to wake up extra early to get to my job and I live here, my job is here. You live in Baltimore, my job is here. Why would I do that? Why would I spend my time to do that?
Okay, and so she's deemed that person is not
willing to come. But you gotta be stand for what you want. Compromise, of course, there are compromise. We can compromise silk sheets versus cotton. Mm-hmm. But we can't compromise.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all like this though. Technically, even in that scenario, who is this person in Baltimore? Because baby, let me tell you something. If I live in motherfucking Baltimore and you live down here, I promise you I'm worth the fucking drive. You got me fucked up. You can compromise or you cannot. Don't miss out. I'm just saying. Don't miss out on some GemDTwin because you want to. But that's because of who I am. That's what I'm saying. So maybe in all of this multiple dating, you have identified that person is really not worth your time. So that's again bringing us back to time, because there are people that are worth you going a little bit out of your way. And guess what? If you got to go to Baltimore to meet me, I gotta come down. Exactly. So
it has to go both ways, is my point.
Which is what? Again, we're back to compromise. We're back to meeting each other halfway. We're back to matching each other.
But when do you start to compromise? That's my whole question. Like, when do you? Because when if you start compromising too early, before you know it, you'll be compromising in your whole relationship. Like, you have to also identify certain things that
you gotta set them rules and standards. That's for damn sure.
Like for me, I cannot. Because if I start compromising on, I don't know an example. I don't know. If I start compromising on something small or whatever, be like, oh, okay, it's okay. It can only escalate from there. You know what I'm saying? You have to also have to watch what you're compromising for.
Well,
and how often do you find yourself compromising in the relationship? If that compromise isn't both ways, if for my friend, if she's like, okay, cool, I'll come to Baltimore. But then now I'm noticing I keep having to come to Baltimore.
Oh, no. See, we should have known, because for real, work anymore. In a symbiotic relationship, it would have worked in a way that
and you're not working.
You said you're coming to you're coming to Baltimore, so naturally the next time I will be coming to you.
Baltimore. But we so vice versa. Keep going. She said the older would have just Ebony. You don't understand. I would have just been on it. He's this and this. She said, but now.
Yeah.
Go on about your business. Maybe you were the one and I missed out.
I know me personally, like I know that, outside of relationships, I go through my moments of healing where I just can't with a lot of people. I just can't, period. And it doesn't matter how wonderful you are. I know myself well enough to know that I got to get me together. I got to get me all the way together first before I can fully engage in this whole little situation, because I'll be like that, like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not even gonna be able to return this call because guess what? I'm fucking tired. Now, if it was a relationship, regardless of how tired I am, I'm gonna return the call because I'm supposed to. And that's where we come into the responsibility, like what makes dating somebody exclusively different from even being in a relationship. So that was kind of what that, as far as us talking about that for affinity, that's what we would have went with that one. But Jeannie, with her posting on social media and everything like that kind of got us into this whole situation, she was actually talking about the fact that in her marriage, she settled. And I assume that's out of a lot of compromising. Exactly. And it wasn't even compromising. It was literally settling. And she did not realize, wow.
Because you get caught.
I can't even speak right now. She didn't realize that she was settling until after she found someone else that treated her differently. So she specifically said she took it as, if her husband or boyfriend at the time said, oh, good job, babe, congratulations to you, that's good for you, that kind of thing. And he congratulated her and lifted her up and kind of celebrated with her, I guess. She took that as, he supports me so much. Mm. And then she was, I guess, with Jeezy, and she cited the fact that she was going out of town. She needed to catch the plane. And he was literally at his birthday party, and he left his birthday party to take her to the airport. And she's like, why would you do that? And he's like, I want to see you off. So putting her first, so putting her into the realm of being first, like his mindset versus the mindset of the person that she dealt with prior to, made her realize that, okay, yeah, this is a whole different level of support. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's what people come into. And that's another thing. We don't know what's going to happen with her in Jeezy. We don't know what's going to happen with her in Jeezy. But you do know.
You can't compare.
You can't necessarily compare, but you can compare yourself. You know yourself. She knows that she put up with a lot of stuff, or she settled in a lot of ways. Her words, not mine. She settled in a lot of ways. And she also did not blame the other person. That's just who she was. Similarly, I know I'm the same way. You know, there are a lot of things that I felt for in relationships and took to be, they are just, you know, for real. I used to be in relationships where if you just get the fuck out of my way, I thought that you were super supportive. Like, great. When I go to model calls, when I am trying to do shows with my friends, when I need to do this, when I need to make an engagement, you just don't bitch at me. Support. That was like my idea of support. Okay. Like that was freaking perfect. Just let me go. I don't even need you to show up because that's not your thing. Several relationships like that. That's not your thing. That's why Eb Deceleb will tell you 9 times out of 10, most people thought I was single all the time because there would be no person, because the person doesn't like this and they don't like that. But then there's a whole other person out there that's like, you know what? I'm going to go to this event because it's your event and because you need me, or because, you know, this, that, and the other. It's a different level of support. So not saying that, you know, her little boyfriend, her old ex-husband was wrong or anything in what he did. She was taking complete and total personal responsibility for her, the way that she maneuver and what she expected for herself. Because also, let's be clear, guys, if you don't ask for it, you cannot even blame somebody for not giving it to you either. Yeah. So that was the tea on Jeannie and Jeezy and the relationships and reflecting and everything. And I think that played a lot into your positivity quote, because if you giving it, you definitely should get it.
Yeah, if you giving it 100%, you'll definitely you deserve 100%. But it's those situations when you're not and you think you deserve it and you don't.
Okay, so you wanted to give. We have to talk to you guys about the Shits Award. Okay, real quick, because our tea time is going to lead into the Shits Award today. Okay, we wanted to talk to you guys about sports and the skins and things like that. But before we do, which way you want to do it? Like
which way?
So you want to do this Netflix thing, okay? Or let me just because sports is your thing. Sports is your thing. You are the head of the sports department.
No.
I mean, we're gonna put them up, but they won't win.
Yeah, anybody who knows me who actually really knows me knows I'm actually a sports fanatic. And I am that one watching football Sundays, football Mondays, not missing a game. Got the game flipping between like 3 different channels because it's 3 different games going on at the same time. I'm trying. But you know, I am not, and I point this out, I'm not a Redskins fan.
Oh, wow.
And not at all. No, not at all. Not in the least.
Who's your team?
I don't have a team. If I had to choose a team. Were you formerly a Redskins fan? No, I've never been a Redskins fan.
Oh, okay.
But if I had to choose now, I support the Redskins only because my girlfriend is a Redskins fan. You know, that's why, you know, I will support them. However, I'm not supporting them right now, and neither is she. But she said she was born here, so she's always a Redskins fan. Yeah. I wasn't born here, so you know. But however, I am not. If I had to choose a team, it would be either the Saints or the Steelers. Okay. If I had to choose a team,
and that's based upon whether wins or
their wins, the coaches. I'm big into coaches. Okay. The coach for the Steelers is a black head coach, and I'm big into culture.
You like that, yeah.
Exactly. And then I actually just like the Saints teams because I just like what they stand for. They were the underdogs, you know, and I always love a good underdog, you know, I always love a good story. So they were the underdogs and they just, you know, they actually made it almost all the way, you know, whatever the case may be. So I like the Saints for that. Right now, Drew Brees is hurt, but I still like the Saints. They won this last past week. They actually won, but and they beat the Cowboys too the week before that as well. Cowboys.
I did watch the Cowboys game. Yeah, the Cowboys. And everybody's up in arms because
they thought they was gonna come in and crush it.
Yeah.
And Green Bay said no, not happening. And so that's how that went. So they lost that.
Shout out to everybody who just wore y'all shit because the Packers did their thing. And, you know, people were just, I don't know, like now that I've been watching a little bit, it's just funny to me to see the jerseys the day after. And I'm like, oh, you supporting your little team because y'all little won. Or you supporting your little team because y'all little lost. Oh, okay, that's cute.
And then now, speaking of jerseys, a lot of people like the Redskins, this is locker room Redskins talk. They're upset because they're saying like they have more fans who support the opposing teams than they actually do the Redskins. Yeah. And now like you can get Redskin tickets for like $18.
Yeah.
You know, so it's real sad out here. It's real sad out here. However, they fired a coach. And so they have a new coach, an interim coach. I got into a Instagram battle with people on Instagram because I do follow
She wasn't trying to give up the tea on
I got in a little Instagram battle with my fellow fans and things like that because I had time that day. So
that's what she said. I got time
I got time today. You don't want to go there.
What you trying to do?
No, because they were going he's the interim. However, they were looking at 3 different coaches, but they were all 3 black coaches. And then they went with this white coach. And I'm like, so I'm like,
you wasn't having.
I wasn't having. I was like, and to think that they would get a black coach, you know, whatever. What was I thinking? And somebody commented, it's people like you that makes America sad. And I said, no, it's people like me who are tired of black people getting overlooked for positions that they are well qualified for. I said, you don't want to go there because I have time today. And then it started a whole thing on Instagram, you know, blah, 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 blah. But back and forth. But I hope they win. But I definitely want to put. Why was I putting them up for the Shits Award?
You were putting them up for the Shits Award just because of their general, because their loss record and
they're 5-0.
Things
like
they
that. Suck.
So you wanted to put them up for the. We are in the DMV though, guys. We are airing from the DMV, so I had to come through with somebody else to like give this Shits Award to.
But I think our other person is definitely going to get it. Though,
because they're going to get it in true Sips Tea the Show fashion. That's what's about to happen.
And I'm going to say this, bitches ain't pressed, but what you don't do is air
press.
Bitches, he ain't pressed. But what you don't do is air your motherfucking show. Excuse my language, because I've been doing good.
Don't air your show on no Wednesday.
I don't give a fuck if you choose the rapper, Cardi B, T.I.
Don't
air your shit on no Wednesday. I'm going to boycott your shit. And now I can never watch your shit because I'm going to always be doing this show. And whoever watches this show who starts to go with that shit.
Oh, don't say that though, because I'm probably gonna tune in. I need to know. We gotta get this here.
I'm gonna tune in on Thursday.
Absolutely, I will. Or I can tune in
Friday.
So on the one hand, you know, with it being tea time and all this other stuff, and right before the Shits Award, we do the tea time and stuff like that. So on the one hand, we gotta say the reason why this is happening, what we're talking about, is the fact that Cardi B, T.I., Chance the Rapper are in a new what is it called? Rhythm and Blues. I made notes. Rhythm and Flow. Okay, so T.I., Cardi B, and Chance the Rapper are doing a show on Netflix. And shout out to Netflix because if y'all remember when you could only, like, Netflix was that first innovative little situation when you could go and get the CD and then you just return the CD and you could just like keep renting shit. No, it was Netflix. Netflix used to be, when they first came out, you could go online, pick the movie that you want. They would mail it to you in this little wrapper.
And then you gotta mail it back. Yeah.
Now they are doing their own fucking. They're producing their own series. They are producing movies.
We got Netflix.
They're getting into whole beast with Monique. You know what I mean? Like you. We don't know. Sorry, you know. But even still, it sucked that went on and nobody can make it anywhere without controversy. Okay.
Yeah, that was bad.
But at the same time, like, you want to come up like you're doing all this kind of shit. So now Netflix is doing this new fucking thing that they're deciding to do.
On Wednesday.
one hand, I want to commend them because I'm like, oh, y'all get real brand new. But on the other hand, I'm like, bitch, what? Like, didn't y'all know the show was airing on Wednesday? So how you gonna put this? Like, you could have put it out on any day of the week while we doing it now. Yeah. As a matter of fact, you didn't even have to do it like that. You could have been doing it like you've been doing it, which means put the whole series up there so people can watch. But exactly. No. So Netflix is jumping in on the game. What? I have to interject right there. What?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
I can't stand when they do the series because I'm gonna tell you why I don't like series.
What?
Because for one thing, it keeps me.
A series.
I love a good series. I do, but I don't. Because one, it keeps me up late at night because you can never stop watching.
You have no self-control.
You have no self. I don't. The other night, I did not go to sleep. I had to go to work at 6 a.m. in the morning because that's when I took a shower and went to work and slept in the car because I was afraid I was going to oversleep because I didn't sleep the whole night because I was watching a fucking series.
What series were you watching?
It's a new one, actually. With
we're going to have to watch it. We're going to have to at least see about it. What is this series?
Raising Dion.
Yeah, I'm a superhero person. Yes, I love series in general. So shout out to them for doing Raising Dion. Raising Dion is about a little boy, a little black boy, first of all, Lord Negro child, with actual superpowers.
Yes.
And his daddy is y'all's favorite.
Yes, Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, his daddy who had passed.
What? I was mad though because fuck that I just start watching this because you just keep hitting next season.
But what I do like is because GemDTwin will take my ass to bed. I watch it, but I'll fall asleep on it. But when I fall asleep and I know I'm falling asleep, I take a picture of where I'm at. I'm like, oh, that's season 2. I mean, that's episode 2. I'll just go back to episode 2 because by the time I wake up, we're at episode 5. 6. I mean, by the time it cut off automatically, we're at episode 6 or something. I'm like, no, I didn't. Yeah, it's the end of the damn season. No, I know I didn't see that, but my mental notes say, bitch, you knew you fell asleep on episode 2. Stop it. So I'll just go back. And that's the beauty of Netflix. So shout out to them for that. But yes, we're talking about Negro child for Raising Dion, Negro mama. She a little light skin.
Yeah, she was.
She is a little light skin.
Who she looked like though? Alicia Keys. That's what I kept thinking she was. I kept thinking she was a.
You like one of those people that think that all black people look alike.
No, the fuck I
because she doesn't look like Alicia Keys.
She favors
She's just giving Alicia Keys.
She favors her
because of the skin tone, the curly hair.
She kind of looks
and
like
her,
If Alicia Keys ever did a documentary. She could play her.
She could play her. So yeah, that was Raising Dion. But again, they're coming out with Rhythm and Flow. I'm not even sure exactly what all it's going to be about.
Is it like a game show?
No, hell no. This is apparently I think it's going to be like a drama or something.
Oh, but the thing is, Cardi B can't act. So
let me see.
What is it?
Let me see what category that they put her in. But you know what? The funny part is
you want to play the because they have like a trailer, right?
Yeah. Okay, it says in this music competition show.
It is a competition
show. Judges T.I. Harris, Tip T.I. Harris, Cardi B, and Chance the Rapper hit the streets to find the next rap superstar. It's fine.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But give people a chance. If anybody's first movie is going to be some shit anyway.
Did you see her in her movie?
Okay. She was trying to act like a stripper.
And she didn't have to because she was one.
Yeah, but
that
still,
was the thing.
People don't understand when cameras start rolling and people ask you to say the same thing over and over again with the same authenticity. It changes and it's difficult and it's just not as easy as people think it is to be regular or to be your normal self. Like, I'm already a stripper. Why can't I play a stripper? Because to actually pretend to be somebody or to act like somebody is completely and totally different than actually being that person. Because guess what? If I say something to you right now, I can say it one way to you with vigor and they'll be like, oh my God, she said the rest of the world could repeat me. But when I go to repeat myself, it's going to be different. It's just, that is the whole little situation with the acting and stuff like that. So she's probably going to be sitting here. She's going to be cute. Let me see if I can play the trailer for you guys a little bit. We'll play it in the background. So we don't own the rights to shit, but...
Like you
yeah.
let me see.
Hip hop's first legit TV competition.
Hey, so y'all can hear it, but
Never try to fit in if you were born to stand out.
so it looks like it's gonna be a 3-week event or whatever.
We're about to make music history.
Really, we'll keep watching this after the show, but I'm sure you all have Netflix, so everybody, you can go to Netflix and watch the trailer and see what it's all about. I hadn't even watched the trailer before I came on here. I was just like, what the fuck is this? Because the reason why we're gonna have to give you the Shits Award. So I commend you in all the things that you try to do, because you know Cardi B's story says that we could all come up at any given moment. So keep hanging on to us, which is why I'm gonna stay tuned to that shit. But at the same time, the reason why it raised red flags and why we had to give it the Shits Award is because it's on Wednesday. Yeah. Netflix, we have an issue. You officially get the Shits Award, not the fucking Redskins, because you tried it with a series on that will air a new situation every Wednesday. Try switching the days. Thursdays are good. But yeah, I think we kind of got into our relationship topics anyway. We gotta actually consistently go back into it. Sometimes we get out of control on this show, but I'm sure that you got enough of affinity with our relationship talk and things like that. DetoxTEA, today we want to actually talk about the CDC, and I'm just going to give you guys this information really quickly. Wrap your shit up.
Yeah.
That was the fucking message.
Diseases are spreading.
The diseases are spreading.
Go get tested.
Get tested. Wrap your shit up. Take your friend with you to get tested and tell your friend to wrap your shit up. Apparently, the CDC is reporting that there is a rise in the cases of gonorrhea, syphilis, and chlamydia right now. And those things are curable.
In a particular area, or is it just in America?
No, but somebody always got to shout at the motherfucking DMV. And that is a problem for me. We're not I don't think we're the most prevalent place, but at the same time, we're up there. And some of the socioeconomic factors that go into that, though, are things that we have to consider. Also, are things being reported more often because we actually do have things implemented? Because I will say this, I have seen so many things implemented to test people at different events and things like that, just like on-the-spot testing for all kinds of shit, which I think is really, really important, and it's really good for our community. And technically, that could be, just to play devil's advocate, that could be responsible for why we're seeing a rise in the cases, because apparently more people are getting tested. If more
numbers.
Yeah, so maybe the numbers are jumping because more people are actually testing, and now we know, or is it because people just are still not wrapping up? Either way, we shouldn't be having that many. We shouldn't be having a rise of 2.4 million people being reported as contracting one of these 3 sexually transmitted diseases. There's no reason for it. There's actually something that you can do. So again, wrapping up, monogamy might work if both people are on board.
Stop out here fucking everybody.
Just stop fucking everybody.
Yeah. Like, when you're in this dating game, just date.
And that's why we have the dating game.
Don't give up the cootie cat. Don't give up the dicky wicky.
Next week we're gonna so we have got to, as usual, we have to continue to go into these topics and kind of talk about that and the stages of dating and everything, because we do need to know when let's go back. When the collaboration between the parts is supposed to come, at which stage.
Once both y'all went and got tested together, and you say, "Who you ain't got shit,"
but is that shit, let's through exclusive dating as well? So after we get tested, because we can get tested like before we hit date 1, just in case you want to get.
And if you want to make it to date 2, 3, 4, 5, you better make sure you ain't out here doing the same thing with 2, 3, 4, 5. But every time we get to them, we gonna have to go get tested.
Right, true.
That's it. It's either one or the other. Don't compromise the bubble.
And don't be a fucking liar. If you want to date exclusively, let's date exclusively. Yes.
And we can do us if you want. But here's the thing. Let me tell you another thing. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, just because, and it doesn't matter if you're exclusive, and I could be wrong, whatever, but in my mind, no matter even if you are exclusive and things like that, there's still precautionary measures you need to take. You get what I'm saying? Because some people
are fucking liars.
Yeah, and guess what? You can get chlamydia by if somebody else who has chlamydia, or you guys can contract chlamydia together.
Wait a minute, what?
Like you can get, I have to look it up because somebody was telling me this.
Like with chlamydia, where we get it together at?
Like if you don't use condoms or something like that, like can't you get it chlamydia? Like if you don't use condoms, or
we're saying that people need to use condoms so that they don't contract chlamydia.
But even still, because a lot of people say because it's just me and you, we don't got to use a condom anymore because it's just me and you. But yet and still, you out things can be out here. You can still like
you're not going to contract. No,
like,
your yeast infection is not going to turn into chlamydia.
No, but it could still. There's still when you still need to use. Let me look it up, y'all, because there was something that I remember saying.
Girl, wait, I'm trying to make sure you. Well, you gotta go to Google Water because you don't need this in case. This is a single phone.
Okay. Who knows?
Yes. But no, I think that the whole keeping you from contracting things. Safe sex is one of those, ways to keep people from contracting stuff. And this is a prime example when we have to look shit up. Maybe that's just us that we don't have enough information. CHL. We have to spell chlamydia now. CHLA. There you go.
Okay.
And then don't believe everything that you find on the fucking internet. Like, okay, make sure it's not Wikipedia. And
wow.
Yeah, I don't. So
it's also spread through oral sex.
Of course it is.
Oral sex.
Oral sex
vaginal,
is
anal.
Yeah.
Then it's saying. However, you don't have to have penetration sex to get infected. It's enough if it's in your genitals, come into contact with infected person's sexual fluids. For example, in your genital touches.
So basically, if I touch your ish and your ish has ish, and then I touch my ish, I got that shit too. So I mean, wrap it up and. I can't say, to be honest, the whole, in same-sex relationships that the whole, dental dam thing. I'm guilty. I have not been like into using that. You know what I'm saying? I would more so like to kind of engage with somebody who I trust. That we've both been tested. We both had this conversation about what's going on. And then I would find that the problem that I run into could run into is the fact that we don't necessarily tell the truth all the time. You know what I mean? Like if we say that we're in a committed relationship or a committed exclusively dating and exclusively having sex with one another, whether or not that's true, you might know it's true when you're in, but you don't necessarily know that when the other person's in.
So we're going to bring up more information next
week. Yeah, we have to, because
STDs, because it says here that might be the case, of course, but it's also possible to contract several STIs without infidelity in some way, in some cases, and without any sexual contact. Only 3 STIs, I thought it was STD, but STIs are transmitted exclusively sexually, which is gonorrhea, syphilis, and genital warts.
So basically, those STIs, sexually transmitted infections, and then STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. But like you said, I think earlier, but there are sexual situations in general. So if we're careful in sexual situations.
So this is what she was saying. So sexual transmitted diseases, STDs, can be transmitted without sex. That is without intercourse. Even a grandma kissing you at Christmas might pass on a cold sore.
Absolutely.
So you just got to be mindful.
Back in the day, cold sores was considered the kissing disease, but I don't think that people talked about it. And also, that's not necessarily something that people are testing for when they're testing you for STDs as well. Because cold sores, which is actually herpes, cold sores are not they're not they don't test for those regularly in your STD screening. You have to actually ask for them specifically. So there is a lot of things that go on in sexual health, and because we talk about these things during Detox Tea, and we want everybody to be sexually healthy, mentally, physically healthy in mind, body, and spirit, these things come up, and it shouldn't be so scary for us to talk about them, because it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And you would never know who, be mindful that the person that you're sitting next to, that might be a thing with them. You just never know. But if we don't talk about it, then we don't learn about it either. You know what I'm saying? Even this conversation got Eb Deceleb like, oh, we need to Google some shit.
Exactly.
We definitely need to Google some shit. I don't think that there's always enough information out there, especially if you're not in the right place at the right time. If you're not at the truck getting tested and talking to a professional, you may not even get that much information. And I also don't feel like, to be honest, I'm not sure that our professionals have as much information as they should either, unless you're a specialist. Sometimes specialists, so Anna says herpes has to be present in order to test. They actually have a test that says herpes is present, or herpes that your entire body has come into contact with it at any time. So they can actually test for both, that you have it that like at right now, or that you've been exposed to it in general. But it is one of those things that's like super, super common. And so they don't even test for it, because they can't even trace it back to say, oh yeah, you got it from Eb Deceleb, because it didn't have to be her. It could have been a kiss from somebody else that, whatever. So guys, we're going to say, if you wrap it up, you have less of a chance of contracting some of these STDs or STIs that we're talking about. And if you're getting tested regularly, at least you'll know when you have come into contact with something that you shouldn't have come into contact with, and then actually get treated for those things. And that's the most important thing, to find how you get treatment, to be treated, and to make sure that whoever you're dealing with has been treated, or at least has the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we got to bite the bullet and just be like, look, this is what it is. But yes, that is Sip See This Show for Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Sip See This Show. We will see you right back here next Wednesday. And as always, we love you to life.
Have a good week.
Bye. Yes, make the rest of this week your bitch. All right.